Hello, students. Welcome to Social Media Marketing. We are on week 2 of 8. Yesterday, I called off class because of the news that was breaking, and I just wanted everybody to, have an opportunity to kind of reflect on that and give a little space for that. So, we're going to start. We're going to start class today. I'm going to show you kind of what we're going to be doing for the week, and then you guys can get to work. And if there's any questions, just let me know. So let's see. We're going to run through a bunch of stuff, but I'm going to really hone it down into this week's work. We're going to be starting a unit called content marketing. Content marketing is a type of marketing that relies a lot on writing. So writing blogs, writing papers, writing ad script, etc. And so that's content marketing. And we're going to be utilizing the format of blog in this project. So you guys are going to be creating a blog. And so it's an extremely powerful marketing tool that we use, and I'll show you more right now. So let me get down there. Oh, before we get there, next week we're going to have 2 guest speakers. We're going to have 2 guest speakers next week, and they're really cool. So check this out. We got Ann Jackson. She's the vice president of marketing. That's a big role for Optum. Optum is a Fortune 500 company in the Twin Cities. I used to work for them, and it's a great company. They deal with healthcare. Here's her LinkedIn profile right here. And I'm going to put this in an email that goes out after. But what I'm wanting you to do is get out to LinkedIn, and you're going to be looking for Ann Jackson, and you're going to read her profile. Specifically, I want you to look at the reviews that she's gotten, the recommendations she's gotten from colleagues. So we're speaking with the vice president of marketing at Optum next week. She's going to come and visit our class. Really cool. The second one is Jason Craig. Jason is the lead product designer at Target. That's pretty cool, and he's done a lot of cool work building apps and kind of these technical things for Target. So you may have used some of the apps he's built. So again, he has a LinkedIn profile. I'd love for you to go check it out. I'm gonna put it in I'll put it in the chat, not in the chat, in an email going out. But he's also going to be kind of presenting to our class next week. So really exciting. 2 powerhouses in marketing are going to be visiting our class and sharing their experience. That's pretty amazing. Okay, well, hey, we're gonna jump to a new unit here, and that is content marketing. And this is a really cool project that you're going to get a lot of value out of. And so let me get set up here. All right, so I want to start this by saying that there's been a shift in marketing. You guys are learning marketing when a really cool shift has taken place. Well, what am I talking about? I've been talking to you about this sales funnel, or marketing funnel is what we call it. You build awareness about your product or service with prospects. You build interest. You build a desire. And then finally, some take action and purchase your product or service. And so this has been the model in marketing for 50, 60 years. And that's great. And you've used it last quarter, and we can still use it. But there's some problems with it. Number one, it's quite linear. Linear means it goes one direction. And the second problem is that it's mostly interruption based. Interruption means this. You try to capture the attention of your prospects to build awareness, and we're often competing for their attention with the million other things that are going on in their lives. And so you flash your advertisement in front of them and you try to dazzle them with bright colors and circles and sales. So it's interruption. You're trying to interrupt your customer's attention. And as marketers, we segment our target market. So of all the people, we say, nah, this is the target market that we want to try to reach. And then again, we're trying to interrupt them with our ads. And so that's a historic way of doing marketing. Well, guess what? Customers nowadays are empowered customers. So we have smartphones in our pockets, and any question that we have, any problem that we have, we can flip up our phone, start a search, and try to solve our problem on our own. And that's a new reality. Even when I was your age, 20 years ago, we didn't have smartphones. We barely had internet. And so imagine that. This interruption-based marketing was much more powerful back then because we didn't have this technology in our hands. Also, companies like Google are doing great work to empower us. So now we are able to, Google has transformed search engines to allow us to get relevant information as quickly as possible. So for these two reasons, marketing has to shift. We have people recognizing that they have a problem in their life. I just wrote down a few. They want to lose weight. They want to find a construction contractor to install a new front door. They want to have a great first date night. They want to feed their dogs the best food. These are all problems that people have. And how are they solving them? Well, they're going out to Google and they're looking that information up and they're answering their problems by themselves. So with that in mind, there's a new model for working for marketers. And we generally call this inbound marketing. Inbound marketing. And so here with inbound marketing, your goal is not to interrupt people's attention, but is to be found by customers as they're trying to solve their problems. So imagine that. You're going to be found by customers trying to solve their problems, instead of you going out and trying to interrupt them. When they find you and you help them solve their problem, you're seen as the expert. You're seen as the expert. And that's really powerful in the mind of a prospect. People want to buy from experts. It also allows you to build value-driven relationships with your prospects. You're giving them some value. They see that, and that's the relationship that you're building with them. You're not trying to be annoying and interrupt them. And then it allows you to also build conversations easier because they found you trying to solve a problem. They see you as an expert, and now they're more likely to engage in conversation, which is really powerful. Now, this is the new model of marketing. Before, it was this model: awareness, interest, desire, action. So this is the marketing funnel. But with the new model, we call it the flywheel. You you work hard to attract your customer. Once you attract them, you engage them. And then once you've engaged them, you delight them with your products and services and going a little bit extra every single time to delight your customer. And so we imagine this as spinning. When you get more and more customers, this starts to spin and it can kind of take a life of its own. Notice who's in the center of all this is your customer. So you're trying to solve your customer's problems in life, and you're attracting them, engaging them, and then delighting them. And once this gets spinning, they will go out and attract new customers through word of mouth spread. So this is the new model of marketing that a lot of companies are using. So let's go see what this looks like in real life. Here is a hair extensions and wigs. These are hair wigs company called Hair Vivi. And they produce really high quality wigs. Look at this. They're going for like $240, $290, $360. These are real human hair wigs. So this is really cool stuff. All right. So, they would go out and they would create a buyer persona for their different customers. Now, Tommy Technology probably isn't a good example for Hair Vivi because, this is probably mostly women buying these. But there's probably a couple different buyer personas of their customers who are buying their products. And so they would go out and they'd do a buyer persona. They would get their challenges, their fears, their hobbies, their goals, just like you did last time. And the goal of Hair Vivi is where they can create an online presence where they're seen as an authority or an expert on a topic. The second goal is, if to do that, you need to be found by customers as they're searching for problems and solutions. And then lastly, they need to optimize their content for search engines, which we'll talk about a little bit later. But I want to talk about these two right here, that they're creating an online presence where they're seen as an expert on a topic and being found by customers as opposed to putting out annoying ads and trying to capture their attention. So if we go back to Hair Vivi, you can see that they have a blog. Ooh, look at this. Hair Vivi has a blog. Well, let's go see what kind of blogs they're producing. So here's one of their blogs. Super detailed guide. How to make your front lace wig at home like a pro for beginners. And you can see that this was produced in December of 2020. So interesting. So people may be out searching the internet about how to make their own front lace wigs at home. And Hair Vivi is providing you a full guide on how to do that. Here's another one. How to dye a human hair wig by yourself. Everything you should know. Wow. So again, people are out on the internet, then they're saying, hey, how do I dye a human hair wig? Well, guess what? If they stumble upon this reading and it was helpful for them, all of a sudden in the prospect's mind, Hair Vivi is an expert. And now they click around and they find, oh my God, look at these awesome wigs. And they convert into being a customer. So do you see that Hair Vivi is producing content to be found by customers and to solve their problems? They're seen as an expert by those customers, and then they're actually building customers. So that's super cool. This is a real life example of a company that's doing this well. Let's look at another potential customer. This is Mill City Running Room. They sell high-end running shoes and clothing for people who run marathons, etc. So these are high-end. These are like $100 shoes, $200 shoes for people who run a lot. Well, maybe what they would do is they would produce a piece of content that says, how to run your first marathon, the only guide you'll ever need. So again, their goal is to be found by customers who, or prospects who are out there searching for, hey, how do I run my first marathon? And if they stumble upon a blog or a white paper, um, then they, again, Mill Cities will be considered the expert. They'll be solving their customers' problems, and their customer then prospects are more likely to trust their products and services and buy. Okay, so I think you get what I'm talking about here. We want to produce content, get it out on the internet, be found by customers who are trying to solve problems, and then build that value-driven relationship with our prospects. It's just a totally different way of marketing. It's a totally different way. We're attracting them, we're engaging them, and we're delighting them. So cool. All right. But I got to say this. There are literally billions of websites out there. And so if this company, if Mill City Running Room produces some content, if it shows up on page 97 of Google, no one will ever find it. So what we're going to learn this in this unit is something called search engine optimization. Search engine optimization. That is ways that you can optimize your web page, your blog, etc., so that it ranks high in Google. Our goal is to get it to the #1 spot in Google. Because if you get it in the #1 spot, people are going to find you and they're going to click on it when they're searching for your keywords. But if you're on page 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, less people are going to find you. And so we're going to spend a lot of time figuring out the techniques of search engine optimization. Well, one of the techniques is something called pillar and cluster content. Pillar and cluster content. So here is a model of what this could look like. You have one, we call it a pillar content, one piece that is the ultimate guide of whatever you're talking about. If you're talking about makeup, this piece it covers everything. You're gonna write a lot. Like this blog would be like, 2,000 words long. Lots of pictures. It covers every single topic. So once you create that pillar content, you can break off these, we call them cluster pieces, cluster content. So let's say that, let's go to Mill City Running Room. Again, they have their pillar content, how to run your first marathon, the only guide you'll ever need. And it covers everything. It covers everything you can think of. And then they break off these cluster pieces. How to train for a marathon. Which are the best shoes for running a marathon? How to protect your knees when running a marathon. What diet to eat when running a marathon. How to overcome pain when training for a marathon. So you can see these are much more detailed, maybe a little bit shorter pieces that stem from this bigger piece. But they're all linked. So this would be linked here. So these lines indicate that there's actual link. Someone is reading this, they can click on this and it'll bring them here. They can click here and it'll bring them here. So similarly, we have this pillar piece, and then we have all these cluster pieces. Once you have, now we're getting to social media marketing. Once you have your cluster pieces, you can advertise them on these different social media platforms. And again, you guys, the goal is to be found by your customer and solve their problem. So let's look at the difference between traditional and inbound marketing. Again, we say that for Mill City Running Room, if they were using the traditional marketing method, they would do interruption-based marketing. They would put flyers in your mailbox. They would spam your email, maybe run TV commercials, all with the effort to try to like interrupt your attention and get them in front of you. And it's very product oriented. They're running ads on their shoes and they're blah blah blah. So this is traditional marketing. We also call this outbound marketing. Inbound marketing, you're understanding people's problems and their yearnings and what they're searching for and trying to answer. You really try to understand that through the buyer persona, through other surveys, through knowing your customers on a deep level. You provide authoritative content to help solve their problems. So when they're out searching for how my knee hurts when I'm running, if you have content that shows them how to solve that problem, all of a sudden you become the expert. You become the trusted field expert. We call it a field expert, the trusted expert. And you build relationships with your customers based on solving their problems. So this inbound marketing is a new method of marketing, and we are really excited about it. Well, what does that mean for us? Like you, what does that mean for you as a student in my class? Well, we are going to create a blog, and you're going to create and manage a blog that follows this pillar and cluster content format. So you're going to create a blog that follows this pillar and cluster content format. And I got it broken out in weeks here. So week number 2, that's the week we're on right now. You're going to choose a topic to be an authority on. You're going to choose a topic to be an authority on. So, for some of you that could be, whatever you have some expertise in and you enjoy, that you could provide expertise to people out on the internet. That's the kind of topics we want you to pick. Next week, you're gonna create an outline for your blog, and then week 4, you're gonna create a website and then write your blog. And then week 5, this should say create your cluster. So this is your pillar blog, and then on week 5 you're gonna create your cluster content, and then week 6 we're gonna broadcast that all out to social media. So really exciting. That's what we're gonna be up to over the next number of weeks. You're gonna learn how to write a professional blog and do it like a true marketer. How does that look when we talk about when we look at Schoology? So here is social media marketing. We're going to go to attract, engage, and delight. We're in week 2 of quarter 4. I got a reading for you. It's not a long one, but it's a good one on the fundamentals of writing an effective blog. And then here is your project, part 1. So let's go look at what that worksheet looks like. All right, here it is right here. So content marketing and search engine optimization. You can see that we have step 1, step 2, step 3, step 4, step 5, and step 6. This worksheet is going to carry you through the whole project. So um, this week, you're only responsible for step 1. And that is, you're going to come up with 3 topics that you could write about and create a blog around. So that's what you're going to do this week. Then I'm going to review these with you and help you select one that is the best. In other words, you're going to pick 3, but I'm going to work with you and say, yeah, but 1 and 3, they're not going to serve you best. I think I would pick number 2, and we're going to have that conversation. So this is what's due this week. This part is worth 50 points, and you'll see it. And I have a little spot down here for you where you can keep track of all of your scores throughout the week, because week 2, there's a worksheet here when you design your pillar content, etc., etc. And you're going to turn that into D2L, week 3, etc. So long story short, guys, this is what's due this week. It's out on Schoology. I will say this. So here it is right here. Week 2 content marketing instructions Dropbox. And then I have some instructions here. You're only responsible for part 1 this week. All right. Well, hey, we're wrapping up here. So thanks for your attention. I want to just zoom out again and talk to you about what we're doing. We are learning a new paradigm. We're learning a new paradigm, a new model of marketing. No other high school student is learning this in the whole country. You guys are learning this. And this is what professionals are out doing right now. They've switched over from the traditional sales funnel. They've switched over to the inbound marketing. And the goal is to be found by customers trying to solve problems, to be seen as an expert, to build conversations, and to build relationships with prospects where they see you as an expert, helping solve their problems. So this is really cool stuff. This is professional stuff. This is like what our best marketers are doing right now. And you guys are learning it. You are going to create a blog around a topic that you can add value to other people's lives. If you're really good at making front lace wigs like a pro, maybe that's a blog you want to do. If you're, so there's ways for you to implement what you already are strong at in creating this blog. Well, guys, I'm gonna stop it there. Again, I'm gonna sum up one more piece. Remember to get out and check out our guest speakers so that you come prepared with questions. So Jason and Ann, who are coming tomorrow. So you get out and check those guys out. I'll put their link in an email, and then get started picking a blog that you'd like to try to write this coming week. All right, guys. Well, I trust you're doing well, and I'll talk to you throughout the week and next week.